What's up, everybody? Welcome into Four Verts. My name is Harrison Graham. I kind of wanted to get into some QB carousel rumors, then I'll get into some predictions later on in the show now that Matthew Stafford is indeed back with the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams and the veteran quarterback agreeing on new terms on Friday. So some domino effect of that, some other storylines that have emerged since then. We're going to kind of dive into that here on this show. And let's go ahead and get right into it. Is Aaron Rodgers going to be the pivot point for the New York Football Giants? There had been a rumor earlier in the week, we discussed it here on this show, that Rodgers had some interest in New York. What we hadn't heard is if New York had some interest in Rodgers. Obviously, it would be an easy switch for Aaron as he already lives in the area, playing for the Jets, obviously. And it was reported on Friday from multiple insiders that Rodgers is on the Giants' radar and that they are interested. A couple of things stand out here. One, and I think we've known this, but I think it's clear here. This Giants regime is beyond desperate. As you guys know, I cover the Bears for Chat Sports as well. This reminds me a lot of the 2021 Bears regime when they kept the GM and head coach that probably should have been fired the year before, or at the end of the prior year, Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace. They didn't have a quarterback. So what happens? You get desperate because you know if you're not going to win, you have to get a quarterback. They tried to trade for Russell Wilson. That didn't work out. They tried to trade for Carson Wentz. That didn't work out. They end up signing Andy Dalton and drafting Justin Fields, both fired at the end of that season. Doesn't it feel similar where they're like, oh, we have to get somebody. Let's go get Aaron Rodgers. I mean, shouldn't you just draft a quarterback? But you can't really blame the guys because they want to have as many options as possible. This is on the owner. Once the owner brought these guys back, he should have given them full confidence. Hey, we're going to draft a young quarterback. We understand it's going to take multiple years. Now it's like they feel the pressure to get a veteran. They still might draft someone as well, like the Bears did. And it's kind of like you do both. Neither ends up working. I don't know. I don't like the vibe of what the Giants are stuck with right now. This is why it would have been better just firing at least the GM so you can bring in a GM who has a runway. Yeah, we are going to draft the quarterback, and it's going to take a couple years. We understand that. Well, now they feel the pressure to try and go get someone like Aaron Rodgers, even though Aaron Rodgers is probably not taking you to the promised land at this point. Now, maybe they sign Rodgers and draft the QB at 3 or trade up to 1 and get a QB or whatever the case may be. I'm not even saying that would be bad. It just feels like going down the Rodgers path when you're not that close to winning, that only desperate team would do that. Like, only a desperate team. That's why I've said that, like, the Steelers make sense for Rodgers if they'll take him because they're in win-now mode. But, like, the Giants, why would he want the Giants and why would they want him? I do not understand. Now, clearly the Giants probably think that they're closer than the rest of us think they are, but are they? Like, to me, they're the worst team in that division by a healthy margin right now behind the Eagles, Commanders, and Cowboys. Like, does Aaron Rodgers change that? To me, it doesn't. Like, they become more interesting, but do they become better? I'm not sure that's actually the case. Subscribe to us here at Four Verts. We have full off-season coverage every single day. We are less than 10 days away from the start of NFL free agency. Plenty of rumors and juice leading up to that. The trade market's going to start to round into form as well. Quarterback carousel, which we're talking today. Hit that sub button, turn on notifications. We got you covered here on Four Verts. Okay, what is next for the Las Vegas Raiders? Adam Schefter reporting that the Raiders are expected to look into Sam Darnold, Justin Fields, and Russell Wilson. Obviously, the Raiders hold the number 6 pick in the draft as well, so they could potentially be in the mix for Cam Ward or Shedeur. Sanders would likely have to trade up to secure one of those two players. Now, remember what Pete Carroll said at his introductory press conference and just what is in his core beliefs as a football coach. We want to run the football, and we want to play defense. Well, with Stafford, obviously they would have been more of a passing team, but since they missed on him, do they go with a guy that can just take care of the ball? Like, do you reunite Russell Wilson with the Raiders? Do you bring in a Justin Fields who can give you some juice on the ground, and if he just takes care of the ball, you have a chance to at least be competitive? That's obviously a big drop-off from Matthew Stafford. Like, I would personally just try to draft someone if I was the Raiders, but knowing Carroll's philosophies, he would like to have someone with experience, someone he can trust, and then, upgrade the running back room to try and run the football offensively. I mean, would Would they draft Ashton Genty? I saw Ashton Genty said that he grew up idolizing Marshawn Lynch. You know who coached Marshawn Lynch? Pete Carroll. It's just, these things, they play out over time. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that one plays out. Okay, with all that being said, let's go through 6 teams in some quarterback carousel predictions. Number 1, the Steelers. A lot of buzz that they're going to re-sign Russell Wilson. It's kind of uninspiring to me, but Mike Tomlin, I think, is a fan. He takes care of the football. He did play better than expected last season, at least for me. I did not like that move at all at the time, and he played solid. He certainly is not a top 10 or even 15 guy, but he's a starter in the NFL. Tomlin probably thinks if they just play defense and if they can upgrade their running game a little bit, offensive line plays a little better, then Russ can get the job done. To me, they're stuck in the middle with a move like this, but I feel like that's the route they're going to go. I think the Jets and Justin Fields make a lot of sense. I don't think the Jets are going to throw big money around for a quarterback. They've already said they're comfortable with Tyrod Taylor. There's been some juice that they could trade up for Cam Ward, so keep an eye on that. But if they can't go that path, I feel like Justin Fields is kind of the in-between move they can make where you kind of take a flyer on a guy, 10, 12, 15 million bucks, 1-year deal. If it works out, great. If not, no harm, no foul. You draft a quarterback the next year, because they're eating some dead money on Aaron Rodgers this year anyway. This year is all about setting the foundation for Aaron Glenn. Justin Fields is a team guy. He's a guy players can rally around. Even if you're not winning a bunch of games, he's someone for a year that, is not going to just plummet the team, right? Like you can – you'll be a little entertaining, and he's a good team guy to have. So I could see them bringing him into the building. I guess I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers for the Giants. Now, I still think they could draft someone as well, whether that's in the first round or later on. But desperate teams do desperate things, and they're very desperate right now. It's why they tried to get Stafford, who at least is still near the peak of his powers. Aaron Rodgers clearly is not, although he did play better down the stretch. If I had to guess right now where Aaron Rodgers plays next year, it's the New York Football Giants. Okay, the Raiders. I'm going to go Sam Darnold. I think you give him, I don't know, can you get him for 3 for 75? Would that get it done? Is it 3 for 100? We got to wait and see if the Vikings franchise tag him. As of filming this, that has not happened. But I feel like the Raiders, if they bring in Sam Darnold, they can ask him to do less than what he had to do in Minnesota, which was throw the ball a ton. I think they'll run the football, have Darnold do some play action, which is what he's good at, and go that route. I'll go Cam Ward to the Titans. I don't know what to do with Tennessee in this scenario. I know they've been, open to trading down, but if they don't and they stay at 1, I got to think that means they're drafting a quarterback, because if not, they could just trade with the Giants, who would almost certainly trade up and still get Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter at number 3. But for now, I'll have them taking Cam Ward, and then I'll have the Browns take Shedeur Sanders. Would Shedeur go to Cleveland? I guess we'll see. I don't know how much power he's going to think he has, but it does feel like the Browns are taking a quarterback. They're tweeting about these quarterbacks. It's very strange, but they've also kind of made it clear that they don't want to trade Myles Garrett and that they're going to try to upgrade the QB room. I still think they'll end up having to trade Myles Garrett because he's not even willing to negotiate an extension there. But, Cam to Tennessee, Shedeur to Cleveland at 1 and 2. Don't feel great about those predictions, but that's where they sit now. Okay, drop your quarterback carousel predictions in the comment section of this video. If you have any strong thoughts, you don't have to go through every team that has an opening, but if you have a prediction that you want to throw out there, I'll be reading them, so go ahead and fire away. My name is Harrison Graham. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Plenty more football talk to come, so stay tuned.